5 states sending out checks in August through December. I have all the details and exactly what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. I know in this video, I do want to discuss the details of 5 states that are sending out checks between the months of August and December and all the details that you need to know about it, including how much money is on the table per individual state, as well as eligibility requirements and everything else you need to know about this, as this is reaching millions of Americans all across the country. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. Really fast before we do, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and I'm here for you right by your side every single day to help you out in any way that I possibly can, and of course, keeping you informed as things are changing very rapidly right now. We know there's a lot of new information hitting the wire literally every single day, which is why I'm doing the research and breaking it down into these videos so you can possibly grab as much as you can, including money, benefits, checks, raises to benefits, stimulus, anything else going on out there, and take advantage of. Of course, I want to bring it to your attention right away in these videos. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. There's that big old button right down below the video. Make sure to subscribe if you have not done so, and let's get into it and talk through all the details of these 5 states, how much money is on the table here, and what you need to know to be eligible if you are in one of these 5 states. All right, so let me point out the details of this. I want to make this very clear from the start here. The checks that are going out here in these 5 states are not stimulus checks, okay? There's a lot of states out there that are sending out a variety of different payments. The vast majority of what we're talking about here are states that are sending out rebate checks, okay? So I want to make that very clear. Now, also, this is not including guaranteed basic income programs. Now, if you've been watching the videos here on the channel for a while now, you know that you've heard me talk about all of these states out there and the 100 plus guaranteed basic income programs that are currently in effect, sending out ongoing monthly checks with no strings attached, usually anywhere between $500 and $750 or $500 and $1,000 per month per person for about a year's time is usually how long these programs go for. Now, I can talk about all of those in a separate video. We're talking about these checks that are going out. These are one-time checks for millions of people in these 5 states. Now, again, these are just the states as of right now. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe 2 months or so ago, I was out in a separate video talking about 7 separate states that were sending out checks at that time as well. Now, again, I can tell you this much as well. There will be more states sending out money eventually, but this is what I know as of right now, okay? So I want to make that very clear so that there's no misunderstanding what's going on here. Now, I also want to point out some other details before I give you the list of the 5 states and what you need to know about this. All 5 of these states require the filing of a state tax return, okay? Now, hang with me here for a second because here's what I know. The vast majority of you here in the community, I know this because I've seen it down below in the comment section. I know that a lot of you here in the community do not file tax returns, okay? Simply because living on a fixed income, if your income is low enough, a lot of times you probably don't need to file a tax return. I get that, okay? However, I want to say this much. This is not tax advice. This is not accounting advice. This is not advice in any way, shape, or form. However, just because you don't need to file a tax return doesn't mean you can't file one, okay? If money is on the table and if your state is offering some type of rebate or a one-time payment or something like that, and they require you to file a state tax return in order to get it, I'm just simply saying, again, I'm not advising what to do. I'm just simply saying, if money is on the table and you know that you need to file a tax return in order to get it, it might be worth your time to file a simple tax return because it's all going to be zeros anyway. What's the difference? You know what I mean? So my point is, if your income is low enough where you may not need to file a tax return, there's no rule that says you can't file one. You certainly can, but a lot of times it doesn't make any sense to because it's just all zeros at the end of the day. But if that means you could get some money, then it might be worth your time, okay? I just want to say that really quickly. Do some research on your individual state. If your state is on this list here, and again, look into this. However, so I want to point all that stuff out for you really quickly. Again, I know a lot of rules, a lot of different things you need to be aware of, but again, it's not as simple as just like showing up like it was a couple years ago. Remember a couple years ago, 2020, a couple checks went out, 2021, couple checks went out. Literally, we didn't have to do anything to get that. Those stimulus checks that went out at that time, we didn't have to do anything, right? Basically just be here, living, breathing, stuff like that, and you got a check, right? We didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to file tax returns for the most part. If you receive fixed income benefits from Social Security, you pretty much got it. There were a couple things that you might have had to do, but for the most part, we didn't need to do anything to get those payments. Basically just wait, right? It was just a waiting game. Wait and wait and wait, and eventually the money would show up in our accounts. It's not quite that easy these days anymore, okay? So Just want to point that out. So anyway, I want to make that very clear. Now, again, I want to point this out as well. Between now and the end of the year, there's going to be a lot of things going on. Some big announcements will be coming out. Not only that, over the coming months here, a lot more programs will be popping up on the state level. To be fair, though, over the last couple of years, there were a lot more states. In fact, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago or something like that, there were like 30, 35, 40 states that were sending out checks in some form to the people within their states, the residents of their states. These days, the numbers of states sending out money is far less, okay? Just because things going on here, okay? However, I want to point something else out. Remember back in early 2021, okay? The American Rescue Plan. It had $350 billion within that plan that was going to states, $350 billion. One of the caveats of that money, they gave they being the federal government gave states $350 billion. Now, obviously, it was spread out differently based on different demographics, population sizes, all kinds of things like that. But each individual state got billions and billions of dollars. One of the caveats of that was they had to either spend the money or give it back, okay? Which is why I've mentioned this before in other videos. There will be more programs popping up because here's the thing. They have to spend the money by the end of next year, 2024. Do you think the states are going to spend it or do you think they're going to give it back? I can tell you this much. They're not going to give it back. Why are they not going to give it back? Because if somebody gave me billions of dollars, and I'm sure the same would go for you, if somebody gave you billions of dollars and said, here, spend this over the next 3 years or you have to pay it back to us. Do you think they're going to pay it back? I'm sure I could find a way to spend billions of dollars. I don't know what I would buy, but I can guarantee you, giving away money, spending things, different programs within the state, stuff like that, those are all on the list of things that are eligible to spend that money on, which is why one of the main reasons we've seen so many guaranteed basic income programs popping up over the last couple of years, because this is one of the things that they can spend the money on. State stimulus checks, state-administered guaranteed basic income programs, these are all things they can spend the billions of dollars on. So why not do it, right? Which is exactly why we're seeing that. So my point is, as we get closer and closer to these deadlines of when they have to pay that money back, there will be more of these programs popping up because they're not going to pay that money back. If they do, it's going to be a very, very small amount. So, of course, that's still well over a year out from right now, but I just want to throw that out there really quickly. There's a lot more money on the table, and these states are just itching to do something with it right now, right? They're spending a lot of things on what they want, but again, there's going to be a lot more going on. Anyway, I apologize. I kind of went off on a little rant there, but now let's get into the details of the 5 states here sending out the information. In fact, to do all of this, I'm going to bring my wife Corey in. I've typed up a document for you. I'm going to have her read it for me because there's a lot of information here. I wrote out the names of the 5 states as well as the details you need to know within each respective of those states, okay? So if you're within one of the states, you might want to look at it. If you're not within one of the states yet, I know it's a tough time right now, but please don't get too discouraged about it. There will be more money coming at some capacity. I guarantee it, okay? There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to bring Corey in. She will read this document to you that I prepared based on the information that I found doing the research. And again, I hope this answers it. If you have any questions, any concerns, anything like that, please leave it down below in the comment section. I will do my best to answer those for you or come back in a dedicated video where I see fit just to help you out. I want to do what I can to get you as much money as I can right now. I know it's a super weird time. There's a lot of programs out there that are tiptoeing around sending out another check or is it basically additional money to people. But there are programs out there where they're basically helping you with a bunch of different things. Utilities, internet, heating, gas, all kinds of stuff like that. There's all kinds of programs for the low income. So anyway, with that being said, let's bring Corey in right now. She will read this to you. Doesn't take all that long, but do the necessary steps that you need to in order to grab as much money as you can. And again, let me know what I can do for you. I'm here to help you out. That's what I'm here for. Okay, seriously, I truly want to help you out as much as I can with these videos and with the research that I'm doing. So anyway, Corey will read the list for you and everything you need to know. I've written it all out in this document here. I hope that helps you out. Anyway, enjoy. Here's Corey. So Corey, take it away and catch you again later in the next video. Subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, Corey, it's all you, and I'll see you again soon.
Idaho. Tax rebates and special session rebates. Dollar amount is based on information submitted on your state tax return. Payments can be tracked at tax.idaho.gov/rebate. Illinois. State tax rebates with a maximum amount of $300. The state will continue sending out payments through the end of the year until all payments have been issued. Massachusetts. Deadline is September 15th to file for 2021 returns to receive state tax refunds. Payment maximum of 14% of state tax liability. Montana. One-time tax rebate of up to $675. Rebates will continue to be sent out in the order they were filed. Program goes through the end of the year. New Mexico. 2 types of payments going out to New Mexico residents. Payments of $500 to individuals and $1,000 for married couples. Deadline is May 3rd, 2024 to file 2021 state tax returns.